PDP Laban has been designated as the dominant majority party in this year's elections. However, the Commission on Elections has yet to declare which of the two PDP Laban factions is legitimate. Inflation zoomed to its fastest pace in over 2 years in April. Economic managers are now pushing for lower tariffs on certain commodities to keep prices in check. And for some good news, households will be seeing a reduction in their power bills this month as Meralco issues refunds. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The COMELEC has named PDP Laban as this election's dominant majority party. The poll body, though, has yet to decide which faction of the party is legitimate. Recall that PDP Laban has been split into two groups. One is led by Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi and the other with Senator Coco Pimentel. Meanwhile, the Villar-led Nacionalista Party has been determined to be the dominant minority party in the upcoming elections. Poll watchers of the two parties will be prioritized in polling precincts and canvassing centers. Some Iglesia ni Cristo members have decided to go against their church's endorsement of Bongbong Marcos and Sara Duterte. Faith Del Mundo with the story.
#Kakampink. A play on the word Kakampink that stands for supporters of the Robredo Pangilinan Tandem and INC trended on Twitter this week. This as some of the members of Iglesia ni Cristo voice out their opposition to their leader's endorsement of the unit team. News 5 spoke to some of the dissenters who asked to hide their identity for their safety.
Nung nakita namin yung balita, it was really breaking. Iyak ako na iyak. I have friends nag-reach out.
This active member of INC also disclosed that he did not know how their church leaders chose the candidates. All they got was a sample ballot.
Kada pagsamba namin, ma'am, binabanggit ang dahilan kung bakit namin papayagan ng isang individual na humawak ng tungkulin sa iglesia. Yung mahusay, hindi sakim sa mahalay na pakinabang, mahinahon ng pag-iisip, hindi makipagtalo. Itong mga bagay na to, hindi ko nakikita dun sa listahan ng mga inendorse.
Meanwhile, this former INC member from Lanao del Norte said he does not want people to be forced to vote for a candidate that he believes is incompetent.
I am not a fan of blind following. I really firmly believe that a voter should vote for someone that aligns with their morals, and they should not be coerced and forced to vote for someone.
The block voting tradition was also one of the reasons why this 24-year-old woman chose to leave INC.
Kung ma-justify po nila kung bakit po yun dapat naming iboto, siguro po magiging open-minded po ako sa block voting. Kasi po pag nagtanong po kami, parang pinag-question na din po namin yung Diyos.
These members and former members of the Iglesia ni Cristo appeal to the public not to judge them for making a stand. They believe that it's about time that their leaders take character, track record, and competency into consideration when choosing which candidates to endorse. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
One News now will be back with more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Rising fuel costs drove prices of other commodities higher in April as inflation breached the government's target. Shaila Francisco breaks down the numbers in this report.
Jacinto, a taxi driver who works 16 hours a day, decided to have this 50 peso pares meal for lunch. He says he's been trying to save up amid rising prices of gasoline and basic commodities.
Sa sweldo mo, ibibili mo na lang ng, siyempre, gagastos sa bahay, bills.
Inflation, or the rate of increase in prices of goods, hit 4.9% in April from just 4% in March. The figure is also the fastest pace since December 2018. The Philippine Statistics Authority says higher fuel costs in the global market pushed prices of other commodities up.
Nagkaroon nga siya ng impact sa transport kasi ito yung diesel, gasoline, yung mga transportation natin na ginagamit. Plus of course dito sa electricity, water, gas, and other fuels.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas says this would likely persist due to the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Among the risks are shortage in domestic food supply and impact of higher oil prices on transport fares. To temper the rising food prices, economic managers recommended to retain the lower tariff for pork and rice imports. Lower tariffs for corn is also being pushed, as well as the use of other corn alternatives. NEDA also believes that fuel subsidies for PUV drivers and farmers should continue. The Energy Department, for its part, is still coordinating with oil firms for a 1 to 4 peso discount for the sector. Shaila Francisco, We Are One News.
Volleyball team saw action over in the UAAP today. Aya Laure and the UST Golden Tigresses swept the FEU Lady Tamaraws 25-23, 25-20, and 25-21 to open the tournament. Laure led the team with 14 points, including 13 attacks and 1 block. The NU Lady Bulldogs also finished off the Adamson Lady Falcons in 3 sets, 25-15, 25-23, and 25-18. Micaela Belen, who suited up for the national team last year, led the scoreboard with 14 points. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. President Duterte has declared May 9 as a special non-working holiday. Malacanang says this is to encourage more Filipinos to exercise their right to vote. The president also appointed Lieutenant General Vicente Danao Jr. as officer in charge of the National Police. Danao will replace PNP Chief Jonardo Carlos, who is set to retire on May 8. And the Energy Regulatory Commission has ordered Meralco to refund subscribers over 7 billion pesos in excess collections. The power distributor says this refund will appear as a separate line item in electricity bills starting this month. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.